Hello everybody, Andy here from Glass-Half-Dead, the #1 kill team channel on YouTube, unless of course you are aware of any other kill team channel on YouTube, in which case just kind of ignore what I just said, don't look into it, thank you very much. Typhon, kill team, Warhammer 40,000 Typhon. It's a big release, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the other ones that we've had this quarter, but you get a lot more stuff in it. And I just realised I forgot half the stuff. Never mind. In this box, not only do you of course get two fully fledged competitive play teams, the Raveners and the Battleclade, the Tyranids and the Adeptus Mechanicus, the AdMech, you also get a bunch of narrative stuff. In this instance, you get a whole load of Tyranid themed terrain, half of which I forgot to paint because I lost interest, and then you also get 10 Hormigants with 2 Ripper Swarms on it. These are intended to be used in narrative rules. They come in the box. They are not for competitive play. I want to throw that out there right at the start, just in case you aren't aware. Right, with that said, first things first, thank you to GW for providing me with this review copy. Of course, they sent it to me. They don't get to see this review or know my thoughts before I go ahead and put it out to you, so these are unbiased thoughts. Price-wise, a little bit more expensive. I think actually for what you get, this is probably the best deal of the edition so far. If you want terrain. If you don't want terrain, and you don't want some random Hormigants, things get a little bit more questionable. You are obviously paying for these. Cool. Right, with that said, let's get into what this video is going to be. So this is the overview. This is the overall review. If you don't want to watch any of my other videos, which are, let me list them off, Typhon review, Ravener how to play, Battleclade how to play. Those are both bangers, by the way, just throwing that out there. A lore read. If you want to see all the lore for the new Tyranids and AdMech, right there. I'm doing that. Voldemort style, but without the Voldemort aura, if you know what I mean. I'm going to have a battle report on Glass-Half-Dead, this channel, which is my standard kind of overview battle report. I'm going to be reading the narrative rules as its own video. And then on my other channel, Tactical Skew, I have a narrative battle report. It's 20 minutes. You probably haven't seen something like it before. I'm trying something out. Go check it out. It's put a lot of effort into it. It's the video that took the longest, is all I can say, I guess. Okay, now in this video specifically, however, I want to give you the grand tour. If you don't want to watch any of those other videos, this video is your one-stop shop. I'm going to tell you very roughly how all of the teams play, my thoughts of them, you know, the overview of the lore, the narrative, etc., etc. So let's get straight into it so that this video isn't 7 hours long. Let's start with the lore, because that's what we're all here for, right? The lore of Kill Team. The gun has fired. Cool. Within that recoil battery of the gun, there's biomass. Battleclade have to go check out what that biomass is. That's the lore. Cool. Done. Moving on. Great. If you want to have the actual stories of that, again, go check out my lore read video, as opposed to lore. That's literally the lore of Kill Team, in case you're unaware. Big gun. It's just fired. This is going to be the final thing that happens for Vulcus. Nice. Love it. Cool. Okay. Hobby. That's right. I'm a hobby king. This was good. There you go. Hopefully I'm flashing up some pictures of the teams right now. I quite enjoy painting these. Let's be clear. 5 models, that's a kill team I can get behind. I enjoyed slapping some paint quickly onto the Raveners and having them look very battle ready. It's exactly what I'm after. The Battleclade, AdMech tend to be quite fiddly. Obviously to you that could be very exciting because you have lots of cool bits to dig into. Not really my vibe when it comes to painting style. Obviously I like big curvy smooth surfaces. We all have big curves obviously, and for sure the AdMech didn't really have that, lots of fiddly bits, but I like how they turned out. I like the colour scheme I went with. I tried something a bit new and that was fun. Terrain, painted up lovely, no complaints on that. And then Hormigants and Ripper Swarms are a separate thing. Lovely, cool. Okay, let's get into the mechanics. Let's get into my vibes. Let's get into my vibes of the teams. Were they good teams to play? I've actually played these two teams significantly more than any other teams. So Blood and Zeal I didn't play. I was just so uninterested in those teams. I played a little bit of Rattlings and Wrecker Crew. I quite enjoyed that. And then Hivestorm, obviously that was a whole separate shebang. So with these teams, I've actually played both of them quite a bit, as you'll be able to see on my channels. Interesting teams. I think if you're thinking power level, if you're just a tournament pro gamer, should you buy these models? Well, check out my proxy video for how to not have to buy them. But I think these both have legs. I personally, hey, we're guessing here, right? Until we see how they perform in tournaments, we won't truly know. But I think that Raveners are going to be hitting the scene. A lot of people are going to be playing them. But I think they have some relatively good counters. And we're going to get a lot of new players playing them. And they are going to kill a bunch of stuff. But I think they are eminently beatable. So what you get is what I would consider a good elite team. If you know me, you know I've complained about Space Marines and elite teams in general in this edition. I think they're a little bit overpowered, and too much so. They're a real gatekeeper for new players that don't want to play Marines, but they're great for new players that do want to play Marines. These are a very beatable team, but the person playing them, even though they might lose on VP, are going to get lots of kills and feel and really enjoy the game because when you're a new player, you just kind of want to kill stuff, right? That's fun. Getting to roll a bunch of dice, having your attacks be really effective. I think the Raveners are going to really allow new players to have a good game, but also their opponents to still beat them. And that's a good thing. Because of course then, I'm a relatively amateur player myself. I've seen them play, I've won with them and I've lost with them. And I can see that there's a path to becoming skilled with them and really playing with their tricks, and it is separate to just how good they are on their date sheet, and they are good on their date sheet, let's be clear on that. They're all 20 wounds, APL 3, they have a tunnel mechanic which is really interesting, and also the crux of why they're not very good, at least as a new player. So I think really interesting team. I think they are perfectly balanced, in a similar way to how Marines quite high in the tier list, but their overall win rate is quite low. I think their overall win rate is going to be relatively low, but there are going to be some players that really pull it out of them, and additionally to the Marines, the people that are playing as and against them will enjoy the game. Whereas I feel that a lot of the Marine teams don't produce the most enjoyable games for both parties. We then have the Battleclade. If I had to guess, I think the Battleclade is stronger than the Raveners, just to be clear. I also think they're much less fun. Now they have a really interesting mechanic called the Noosphere Network, which is where basically you can have one of your guys give up an APL in a similar way to how comms can, kind of, and make another guy activate again. It's basically, for an APL, let one of your models counteract. But they can counteract before they've activated if they want, or after they've activated. And they can only do it once a turn. This means that you get to be significantly more effective than you would expect for each individual model, but they're not for me. They're not a me team. Let me tell you for why. Because they hit on 4s, and I just hate hitting on 4s. I really don't like it. I feel bad. I feel bad when I hit on 4s. There you go. That's the only reason I don't like the team. Outside of that, there is a game of Kill Team where guard is a core mechanic, and their ability, Noosphere Network, is called something else, and is a core mechanic as well. And I think that's a way more interesting game of Kill Team. So I really like what they do. I think they are going to be strong, and I think if you're a tournament grinder, they are going to be something you face more at the higher tables, once you're out of the Swiss randomness, than the Raveners. I want to be clear on that. Strong team. They are a little bit trickier to play, obviously, because you have to think about what you're planning to do in the future, and then make sure you can do that after your opponent has done the thing. You can't say, oh, I'm going to go there and then make the guy bop the thing, because your opponent gets to react. Once people figure out, oh, this is a thing they can do, it's going to be quite tricksy. Likewise, these guys get recon, which at the moment is very, very strong. These guys get infiltration, which means you're not picking infiltration. Let's be clear on that. So these guys are going to seek and destroy, which is quite limiting. And these guys are going to go recon every time, because you probably don't want seek and destroy with them. Cool. If you want a real breakdown, those are my overall vibes and my aura farming of them. If you want the actual breakdown of what those mechanics are, exactly how tunnel, burrow, all that crazy stuff works, and ultimately why I think that the Raveners are not a high tier team, go check out my How to Play. Likewise, Battleclade. Want to see why I think they will be a top tier team, and the full breakdown of all the rules, go check out my How to Plays. When it comes to the narrative rules we get a deck of cards. Oh, I should have led with this, shouldn't I? So we get MPO cards. We have MPO cards for lots of different models, not just what's in the box. So you've got your Hormigants, you've got your Ripper Swarms. Then we have Barb Gaunts, Raveners, obviously, because they're in the box, Termagants, Von Ryan's Leapers. They don't come in the box, obviously, but we have MPO cards. So if you want to be running them with official Kill Team rules, you have those now. You don't have to house rule them. We then have an event deck. So if you're playing your narrative rules here, every turn, instead of the Tyranids playing a strategic gambit, which in standard solo joint ops rules, they don't, MPOs don't play a strategic gambit, now you draw from your Tyranid event deck, and it will be something like Spore Miasma. Whenever an optive is shooting an optive more than 8 inches from it, roll 1 additional defense dice. There's also, that's how you spawn in Ripper Swarms. It's an event from the deck. So that's really interesting, really cool. I also like that the book now has gone back. I feel like Blood and Zeal was a bit of a miss when it comes to the narrative rules, but if you look at all of this great stuff here, we have additional rules. So you've got loads of MPO rules. You also, look at this, you get an actual mission tree. So in the first one, if you fail the mission, you go to this one. If you choose your own adventure style, right? If you win, you go to that one, and then likewise, you can fail and lose that one, and it takes you to a different mission. Each MPO has its own little decision tree on the card, which is nice of it. And we get maps. We get maps for all 6 of those missions. We're using all of your Tyranid terrain, which is really, really cool. We then get, additionally, right, like that's what you expect. That's what I would expect from each Kill Team narrative mission pack, right? But we get an additional one. We get Adversary Ops. This is joint ops. That's where you're playing solo and or with a friend. Adversary Ops is not that. This is an additional one. This is PvPvE. This is where you and an opponent are going to play each other, and there are MPOs on the board. So it's basically a 3-player game, except one of the players is obviously Tyranids. And you get an additional 6 maps set up for that. That's a lovely amount of maps. 12 new mission packs using these. That's value for money just in the book. You get 2 different ways to play the game right there in the Typhon dossier. So, plus the event deck, excellent. I should probably also say, you get your tokens, you get your not MPO cards, your data cards for your teams. Very cool. They are what you would expect. They're very competent tokens, very competent data cards. I have no notes on them. Should you buy it? Who is it for? Let me tell you who it's for. Because it's the same for every single box. I can't tell you if you like these teams. If you like Tyranids, you have to buy this box. There you go. If you're into Tyranids, buy the box. Nice, because not only do you get the Ravener team, you also get additional models that can be used as MPOs and can be taken forward to a 40k game, and you get this exclusive, for the moment at least, Tyranid terrain, which is, as far as I know, the first time GW has done official Tyranid terrain. I know there's been kit bashes and there's lots of 3D prints on the market, but this is the first official GW terrain for Tyranids. Awesome, love it. We then go to the AdMech. If you're an AdMech player, are you buying the box? No. And that's the way all GW boxes work. If you want more than one thing from this box, you buy the box. If you only want one thing for the box, you buy it off eBay. But of course, I do like the dossier. I think that should be picked up. And of course, you are going to want your data cards if you're going to play with them. So that's a pretty easy one. Now let's hypothesize that you are a new player. Is this a new player box? Raveners are going to be great for a new player, and you get a whole bunch, and you get lots of hobby in here, to be clear. So this is a good box if you want either team and you're a new player to Kill Team. You get your data cards, you get the tokens you need, you get one very good beginner team. I think Battleclade inherently are not a not a good beginner team, because they're a little bit complicated. And if you learn to play the game with them and you get really good at the game, because their Noosphere network is just an ability that doesn't exist in the rest of the game, basically, you're going to be playing a very different game of Kill Team, I would say that. So if you're into the AdMech, and you're a beginner, well, still buy it. I mean, rule of cool, right? But just don't think that that they are playing the same game everybody else is. Their Noosphere network is really, really strong. Now, if you're a top-tier tournament grinder, you're looking to go to your next tournament. Is this a box for you? Well, oddly, maybe not, because if you just want it to go hard at the next tournament, you have so much here, which I guess you can eBay and make money off the box, but there's so much extra here that you just don't need. However, from a pure team balance perspective, I do think that both of these teams have the ability to go far in their current iteration before we have buffs and nerfs. Who knows, right? Who knows? As I said, I think that the Raveners are going to take a little bit of figuring out. They are not as strong as they seem on their data sheet. They lack reliability, and I think, very unfortunately, they will have a really bad game into Angels of Death. If you manage to dodge AOD, I think they're probably a very strong team, but I think Dueler, double block, is just going to destroy them. But they're a very interesting elite team, and I do believe they will be good into many, many matchups. Battleclade, I can definitely see them being very strong and having good play. Are they going to be the strongest team out there? No, obviously. But that's because I have a really high elite bias. I think that if I was playing AOD into Battleclade, I think AOD wins, right? But if you're a top player, in general, AOD gets knocked out before the top tiers of the tournament. And so if you just manage to dodge that, once you're on those top tables, I think you have a really strong matchup into many of the other stronger teams that aren't elites. Okay, well finally at the end of the video, hey, I've given my final thoughts. Again, thanks to GW. If you are new and you are considering Typhon for the first time, I also have a whole bunch of other things that you might be interested in. Like, as I said, if you're going to a tournament, this is my one box tournament loadout. Not only do I have the tournament one box holdall, I also have special wound markers, I have special tokens, I have loads of stuff. Check out the pinned links. You'll not only get discounts on all of this stuff here, but also you'll be helping me out because it's an affiliate link. I get a little kickback. And as I say to everybody, every video that I remember to actually say it, if you like what I do here, I do have a Patreon, etc, etc. But also there's a better way to support me. Not a better way, just an alternative way. Better for you. If you're ever buying Warhammer, your favorite YouTuber, including me, but anybody else as well, will have an affiliate link. Me, I've got one to Wayland Games and Element Games. If you're in the UK, if you click on that link when you purchase, I get a kickback. It costs you nothing extra. If you don't like me, but you're here for some reason, don't know why, but your favorite YouTuber will also have those affiliate links. Anytime I buy Warhammer, I click on somebody's affiliate link. Costs me nothing, they get a kickback, they get a little bit of support. So if you want to click my links, that'd be awesome. Thank you very much. Anyway, check out my other videos. Definitely go and check out Tactical Skew, Ravener versus Battleclade narrative battle report, because I spent way too long playing that and filming that. So thank you very much, everybody. See you in the next video. Bye.